Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Growth Podcast. This is a place that we talk about startups, company growth, and new technologies. And today we're thrilled to have Kevin Hsieh, the founder and CEO of MirWork. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Amy. Thanks for having me. I was very glad to catch up with you, and I would love to learn more about what to share for your audience and learn more about your experiences as go-to-market leaders.
Amazing. So yeah, today I think we'll focus on like maybe having Kevin share MirWork, and then we talk about go to market together. And Kevin has a bunch of very great experience in terms of product development and AI and go to market. So looking forward to today's discussion. So to kick things off, can you share a quick introduction of yourselves and what inspired you to start MirWork?
Great. Yeah, I get asked that a lot. Let me think about how much I should share. I know we're both from Taiwan, so maybe I can share in two parts. One is about my background, another one is why I started MirWork. So as actually an immigrant, I came to the United States when I was 12, and I just fortunate to meet a lot of mentor even when I started my career, right? Especially
Yeah.
join a nonprofit organization like Taita or participating other events from NATIA and a bunch of other nonprofit. Actually, like broaden my horizon and like expand my network. So first of all, I'm really appreciative of the people I meet who are continuously trying to help each other, right? So that's kind of like one of the reasons why I wanted to start MirWork. So fast forward to after I worked for like 10 years plus in tech. And so during pandemic, I actually got invited to interview for Meta. And it was like probably my first time interview with a big US tech firm. So I didn't know like there's so many things you need to prep, especially there's like
Mm.
6 to 8 rounds. There's like you have to score very high, if not like the top in order to pass, right? I found a bunch of people who teach me how to study. So long story short, I studied for over 200 mock interview, and I was able to get into Meta on the
Wow.
first go. So that was like really surprising and also really rewarding to me because I feel like I became a better version of myself through all this practice, and I really hope
Yeah.
other people can excel and become a better version of themselves. So about
Yeah.
like the past 5 years, I actually taught a lot of people like manually, like through one-on-one or group lessons, and I almost help at least 150 people get into big tech, right? And even though the process was very like manual, it was very rewarding. And I constantly thought about how can I help more people? How can I teach more people? And how can I create practice that can be one-on-one, that can teach on my behalf? Right? So that's
Yeah.
kind of like why I wanted to start MirWork at first, to build like an AI practice buddy that can help people do mock interviews. So it's always available, it's very affordable, it's accessible.
Oh, that's so cool. It's like building a tool that can basically replicate Kevin. So
Yes,
there's like
basically
a
replicate my
thousand,
knowledge.
10,000 Kevin that can help different candidate
Yes,
to learn and grow in success in their interview process.
yeah, like because for me, like in order for me to teach like 200 people, it would take at least 200 hours, and there's all this
Yeah.
schedulings and manual rescheduling that I didn't account for, right? But with a like AI interview agent, I can actually concurrently have like teaching of 100 of people all at the same time, and there's no lag or waiting. So that's kind of interesting.
Well, that makes sense. So I guess your target audience are those job seekers.
Yes. Originally, when I started building like last year, we targeted job seekers, and the more people I interview, especially on the job seeker side, later than the hiring management side of things, I found out
Yeah.
that the hiring is actually there are two variable on the equation, right? You need to know about the
Yeah.
hiring side, you need to know about the job seeker side, and then you know like how to potentially recommend them to each other, right? So that's why
Mm.
like I near the summer of last year, I actually got in touch with many more businesses, and especially like small medium sized firm or even like headhunting firms have been reaching out to us, and then we try to kind of like create this new experience where we can actually use a similar technology to help company do evaluation of inbound candidate. Because the two pain point that we're trying to help them solve is first of all is there are too much noise in the market now. A lot of the application or the resume is like kind of like flooded with a lot of the AI tools, right? So in a
Yeah.
way that the signal on the resume is not as powerful as before.
Yeah.
So that's why like having like a real time interaction might actually capture like additional signal on top of what's on the resume. And the second problem, like we were trying to help the businesses, is there's just overly number of there's just so many people applying to a job now. So, for example, on average, a tech job might have 200 plus applications, right? So almost all the time, all the recruiting team gets swamped, and basically when that happens, they just talk to less people, right? They don't talk to all the candidate. Basically, they'll just go through whatever people they can talk to within the first like few days, and then kind of like
Mm,
as long as they have enough candidate to go to the next round, and they will just stop, right? But
yeah, yeah.
that's actually very there's a lot of potential opportunity loss there,
Not
right?
fair.
And there's
Yeah, I
like
heard from a lot of friends saying that, oh, like if the job posts like go out, you should like apply right away within a few hours.
yes, within the first minute, yeah.
Within first minute. Gosh, that's so crazy.
But there's a tool that actually can track the fresh jobs, right? So
Right.
there's also some hacks. Like if you yeah if your viewers would love to know, like, I can maybe share some resource later. So basically, you can change the timestamp on the link. If you go to LinkedIn job listing, there's like a number on the top that's like
Yeah.
corresponding to the job that came out in the past year or past I'm sorry past hours or past day. And you can change that to like 1 minute or something.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, maybe we can have another session for Kevin to share with us like how to hack like all these
like truth
interview stuff.
yes, sorry, let me take a step back. It's like there are all this crazy stuff going on, right? So at the same time, like I do really value the like the human connection part of things because I used to
Yeah.
build a product in Meta, right? So I think one of the vision and one of the things I it really inspired me is like they wanted to build tools that connect people and build community, right? Even though it's more socially,
Yeah.
right, I think that's applied to professional community as well.
Yeah.
So even though I used to build like this kind of product, the wearable, like glasses, watch, and Meta, I think a lot of the learning is applicable to professional resource in a building community, right? So even though there's all these crazy tools out there that apply to 1,000 jobs one click, I think ultimately like how people make decisions, like the human connection and they're building the genuine relationship is still like I think the most important thing, right? So that's
Yeah.
why even though I'm building MirWork, I'm trying to actually build like a whole experience. I can really understand the company side and the candidate side and how to
Yeah.
create a platform that they can share their interests or their what they're looking for, so they can find like each other more efficiently, right? So I think that genuine relationship is still one of the most important factor. Like a high referral from your really close friend who can vouch for your background is still trumps like any kind of a high score on any test. That's why I believe. Yeah.
No, I love that. Yeah. That makes sense as well. So I think that's a good segue to our next question, which is
Okay.
like I think you mentioned that you are targeting both the job seeker and the hiring managers or the
Mhm.
companies. So can you share about maybe your business model,
Mhm.
like how this entire journey looks like and how your work provide value and make money?
Sure, sure. Yeah, so on the business side, we help a company when they use the MirWork to run assessment, right? So we make money when depending on how many candidates they evaluate, and like sometimes like you also it's called usage based kind of pricing,
Mm,
right? So that's kind of like how we have been working with our business partners, and I'm just really grateful that some of the company who are like really early adopter, they really help us shape like how the enterprise customer will use the product, especially some of the product experience it has been like kind of like at first all over the place, right? But then later we see more kind of usage from like this medium-sized company. So we start to settle down more about interviewing more of the potential audience in that user segment, and then find out what's like the kind of like I like to call it the 80-20, like because I'm always like
mm,
startups always lack of resource. So I'm always trying to use 20% resource to achieve 80% of the things.
for
So,
sure.
so that's kind of like how I've been trying to do that. So we on the business side, we kind of help company save time and potentially save money, right? And then that's how we make our money there. And then there's also another way on the business side where we recently rolled out about 3 months ago. We help to kind of help company source talent. So it's more like I help them with kind of talking with all the community leaders I know, and if we can help with a referral, then if it's successful, then they will pay us a service fee. And then on the candidate side, basically it's more like a freemium model. So if people are just coming here to
Mm.
practice, they can just practice for free. And if they need additional like a usage or if they need additional like mentorship, then we will have a different kind of like boot camp experience.
Got it.
Mhm.
Makes sense. So the candidate are like all in the US, right? And you're targeting maybe like
So
I
it's
don't
very
know from fresh
interesting.
grad to senior level.
Yeah, that's a good point. So most of our like majority of our audience are more like on the like student and young professionals, maybe within
Yeah.
like 5 years of experience. But because most of the time, like I think more, hopefully this is true. Like I think the more senior when people go, they tend to have a better understanding of how to find help, right? They have their own network to get resource,
Mm,
right? But like, a lot of students actually had no idea like how to even
yeah.
find like a, they don't even know how to mock interview, like how to even find a mock interview partners, right? Unless they pay for some sort of coaching or other lessons online, right? So it's the majority of people are more like junior. And the funny thing is that we thought we have most of a user in the United States. However, like we did some launching like on the product hunt, which was like global. So we actually have
Oh,
like almost 30% users outside of United States.
oh
Now,
wow.
earlier this year, we launched our first product hunt event because that's something that I've not done before. And basically, you have to have a lot of vote, right, for your product to
Mm,
be like on the top
yeah,
three or even make it on the newsletter. So
yeah,
we were really fortunate that because all the years of volunteering, a lot of people
yeah.
who I taught, they all helped to vote for me. So we got
Nice.
lucky and got the first place of the product of the day on the actually on the January 1st. Yeah, we launched on the new year. Yeah.
Nice.
So there's a lot of trick to it too because why I keep saying it's lucky is because there were a lot like every day like if you go to product hunt there's hundreds of product being launched, right? So I actually really want to share this with more people, right? Even though it might be more competitive for all the startup founders, but I do feel like you need to run like a community or some sort of you need to build a long-term relationship with your users, right? Because you will be really shocked at how much people will help you, right? Even though you're not paying them, right? Because for my example is I was able to get like I think 600 if not more votes from like
Wow.
all the WeChat group, like all the Slack group, Line group, and the Facebook group. And I really like just a shout out to all like even like the Natia or the Taiwan data science community, Taita people, they all like help me share my post, right? So that's how we were able to score the first place. And because of that momentum like, of getting the first place, you know, we were also like featured on the product hunt newsletter, like the weekly newsletter. And because
Wow.
the product hunt has a lot of influence, so other people like a superhuman AI like that email company or other newsletter that covers all those like hot new AI trend, they will like they also like forward all that information from the product hunts newsletter. So we actually got almost like 500,000 traffic to our website for free.
Wow.
So that was
Wow.
like really
Yeah.
amazing to me because
That's
I did
amazing.
crowdfunding before. About 10 years ago, I did a Kickstarter campaign. We raised at 1.5 million. But like this is like a whole different kind of game. Like, because that was like hardware product. And it's more about like the
Right.
people, these things, and not as much of a community. I think maybe there's some community aspect, but that's more like after people buy your stuff, right? So that's why I thought like, oh, product hunt is still like really powerful, especially for
Mm.
AI, SaaS, or even like new software plugin products. Like people should really spend some time to build awareness and build a following before you launch something. You know, because I just really thought I got lucky and a lot of people helped me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's amazing. It's basically like free promotion for
Yes.
you.
Yeah, because I got this thing and
Wow.
then a bunch of the like those micro influencers. So we got like over 50 influencers with like 10,000 if not more. Like one person actually have almost 500,000 followers. They all like post our product like for free. Right. I didn't know
Wow.
until like I saw some chart like, hey, there's like a bunch of people sign up, like 500 people sign up in a day from like UAE.
Wow.
I've never talked to
Oh
anyone
wow.
there. And then,
Yeah, yeah,
then I
yeah.
found out it's like a person did a short video on the IG and I went to
Wow.
talk to him and thank him and it was really interesting.
Wow, that is amazing. So yeah, I think our second topic is about go to market, but you just like share it, like you crush it with your
Yeah,
network
I can
through
even add a
product
little bit
hunt.
more now when we're talking about that.
Yeah.
It's like the product hunt is I do think there's a lot of like some strategy to it as well because you can see like who's upcoming. So let me share maybe two other things I noticed now. I was thinking retrospectively. So one, like you need to know like kind of like you need to preamp like pre-hype the campaign, right? So
Mm.
try to share with people like what you need to do before like the day off, right? Because there's a way you can ask people to kind of like put your campaign on the kind of like the wish list or some sort of get notified on the
Oh.
day of the launch, right? And because product hunt actually count votes for that day, so the launch actually
Mm.
started at 12 a.m. like your
Okay.
time zone, or I think it's
Okay.
Pacific time, yeah. So basically you have the time from the 12 a.m. to the next 12 a.m. to get all the votes, right? So you gotta like closely monitor the campaign and answer any sort of comment that people ask, or even just like try to get a huge momentum so you get feature on the like early in the day of the launch, so more people can see your product, right? Because if you don't get featured, like it's hard to let people, like it's harder for people to see it, because like it's not just not like in the top, I think top four. I think sometimes when you get featured, like more people can see the campaign organically. So you definitely want to try to aim for getting featured. Yeah, and then yeah, there's also another thing is like this is more tactical. I think like sometimes a lot of the big company they also use product hunt. Like Google use product hunt, with TikTok use product hunt, right? And they have a ton of resource. They can run campaign and run ads.
They
So
can,
try to
yeah,
not
they can
launch.
buy both.
Yeah,
Okay,
try
yeah.
not to launch at the same day as the big guys, right?
Okay. Oh, that's that's a very, yeah, that's
Yeah, because
important.
we launched a second campaign and we got second place, and that day there was this other product that was just like really powerful, and even like the I think it's like YC product, like the Gary Tan probably like helped them make a video or post, right? So that's
Oh,
just like really hard to beat. It's just so
yeah,
powerful, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
so like I think that's like some of the learning.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all
Yeah,
these insights. So I guess maybe other than product hunt, like
mm,
if you want to continue to grow the, the market presence and grow the user base, what are your plans? Or
mm.
yeah, is it possible to launch another product hunt,
Yeah,
or
you can
does
keep
you can
launching.
keep
There's
launching
some
new
company
things?
who launch product on every new feature because they want
I
to get
see.
the organic. Like two things: are they want to get organic traction, and secondly, they want to just like engage with their current followers, right? So that's also something you can keep doing. Additionally, to address your question is we have been actively doing two things. So one is like the online presence, like social media. So our
Yeah.
team create original content from our own learning, from talking to the job seeker and the companies from our communities, and we try to share those learning to our followers. And secondly, we also host major offline events. We work with big company who are in the like a recruiting space. Somebody like Robert have like we had a like a talk event, speaking events with them, talking about the AI trend in the hiring, and we also
Mm,
will work with a few like partners who are like large corporation who are always like hiring people, or even like have an interest in adopting AI tools. So we host the events almost like every quarter, if not monthly, for some of the months of the year, and those turn out like really great. We continue to see more momentum and have more interested leads who like come to us, right? Because I think that's very important when it comes to go to market in a way. Like in my understanding, if I can do a really good marketing push, or at least like present my brand in a way that attract the interest of the target audience, then the
yeah.
effort of making business will be much easier, as opposed to me like trying to just send 1,000 email to a bunch of people who might not know me, right? If I can get them to my office
Yeah.
like voluntarily, it makes the whole pitch like turn the whole pitch, like turn the table totally around. It's easier for me to share them about what I can do, right? Because I think building trust the most important things, and if people are willing to come and then learn from you, there's already a high chance that they already establish a fundamental trust with you, and then you can also introduce them to like people within your community, whether you're an investor or the company who are working with you. So that can build like multi-layer of a trust like immediately. I've been able to continually grow more client base through these methods.
That's amazing. And now you are the main person who's driving the growth. Where you have a marketing, right? You mentioned that is
Yes,
like
yes,
helping
I have two people who are helping me on the marketing side, and but like this is like founder have to do everything, right?
under
So
like growth.
yeah,
Yeah,
so we
yeah,
have to kind of drive some of the vision, or at least like get those ideas across the finish line, right? Because I really appreciate like the team I have now helping me. Like they're very proactive, and they basically found me from all these events I attended, right? And I've known them for like a long time, right? More than a few years. So that's why I was able to find people who are compatible, who are mission driven to
yeah,
like help on these kind of initiatives.
yeah. And I can tell that you're a very like nice person and always like grateful for a lot of things. So people definitely loved working with this kind of founder or leader.
Yeah,
So
I'm
kudos to
trying to,
you.
because I feel like there's so many people. Like I live in the United States for more than 25 years now, and it's just so it's just still like every time I think about this journey, there's just so many things that people help me. I just feel like I can never give more than what I take in society. So that's also like one of the reasons I want to start my own company, right? Because I really think I want to do more. Like, hopefully, I can get there. But I think the process of attempting to help others is very rewarding, right, to me, and I think I can keep doing this hopefully for the rest of my life.
Wow. Amazing. Respect.
It's tough. Right? It's really hard.
Definitely. Amazing. Yeah. Cool. Anything else you want to add? The go to market topics?
Yeah, I
Otherwise,
think for go to market, maybe this is like a cliche, but I definitely feel like you want to be kind of like true to the the content or the mission you want to convey to your audience, right? Because
yeah.
I know it's one of the challenge at first, where I'm still struggling sometimes is there's so much people shouting right on social media, right? How do we truly gain the attention from the people who we want to get in touch with, right? I think you have
Mm,
to every time we can do a lot of those. I don't want to say vanity posts, but like sometimes like we do that, right? And then I just feel like we need to be a little bit more selective still. Like I'm still like
yeah.
learning. I feel like I'm still struggling sometimes, but I do feel like every time if I really sit down and think about the information and content I want to convey to the potential audience, and if that really resonate with them and hit them in the right spot, then I'll get a much more meaningful interaction with the followers. And I think
Yeah.
that's like a lot more meaningful. And it's not as like, how do you call it? Don't do things just for the sake of like posting, right? I think posting meaningful things, even though
Yeah.
sometimes it might be slow to gain traction, I think those kind of lead is much more meaningful than like a lot of people come in but they don't do anything with the product, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, completely agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I agree. And I think why you're seeing like so many posts that they're just trying to grab tractions, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not like really converting to real results is probably because like there are so many different teams. They have their different KPIs and metrics, and some they're just
Yes.
focusing
Yes.
on, oh, like how many
Mm-hmm.
followers can we grow? How many views can we get from this post? And they don't really care about the actual result, or if it can really convert to in the long term, or it can
Yeah,
bring in
it's
some
tough. I don't think
value.
there's a right. There's no perfect solution to anything, right? So
For
I'm just
sure.
sharing
Yeah.
what I believe, what has worked, but I'm also like continuous to learn and try to see what works better, like
Yeah.
every day, right?
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Then I think we can jump into our last topic, which is like
Mhm.
your future plan roadmaps and like maybe some thoughts
Sure. Yeah,
sharing.
yeah. So for future plan, like definitely like the long term plan is like really try to understand more on the both side. Like hopefully we can get to a place where we can just go like that and then help people find a job, right? And not like
Yeah.
waiting for months, right? Because I think a lot of the I don't want to say like sad story or it's like a challenging story I hear from people in the communities. Some people they have to apply to like 1,000 job and then get like maybe 100 first round and then do like 25 like take home assignment in like 10 final round right before they can have offers, and that took like 10 months, right? And then that is just like hopefully like we can solve that sooner, right? Because I think
Mm,
now there's just some of the challenges with a lot of big company laying off people, and some of the company past few months they might have a post but they're not really hiring, or they might not successfully raise funds, so those job posts actually didn't get fulfilled. So
mm,
one of the initiative I'm trying to get more clarity in the market is build some sort of mechanism that can get more transparency on the signal of whether the job post or the candidate's background, right? So we can decrease some of those repetitive applying like code applying to jobs. So that's one of the kind of like the skills or product I'm trying to work on, and hopefully we can launch in the Q1 of next year. Because
nice.
I was really, it's something I always want to build, but it's very difficult because there's so many things you need to get in order to make a proper recommendation. Because if it's like a bad match, it's worse than like no match, right? So in a way,
Yeah.
so that's why this is something very exciting and also very challenging. I'm trying to solve, and hopefully I can give you some update next quarter. Yeah, so please stay tuned.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Look forward
Mhm.
to that. Well, that's gonna help like both sides.
Yes, I think that's
Yeah.
the main goal, right? Because the company, like, if they spend like 100 hours, like their team spend 100 hours before making a hire, that costs them like tens of thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
especially for
Yeah.
like a high stake project, right? People are
Yeah.
not going,
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. So we talk about your next product launch, which is exciting.
Mhm.
And we also talk about your like longer term vision and like what you hope this can bring into the entire community and environment to
Mhm.
help to really bring in value to the people here.
Mhm.
So I guess last question is maybe we come back to this AI topic since now
Mhm.
it's an AI era.
Yeah.
So and you're building an AI company as well.
Mhm.
So any thoughts on like how Mirrorwood can use AI better for your future, like longer term growth, and how from your experience,
Mhm.
what are the advice that you would like to give to like other founders or leaders that are listening?
Yeah, yeah. I think for MirWork, I'll touch briefly, like summarize briefly on what MirWork is doing, and then I can share some of my learning. I mean, I would love to hear more about how your audience reciprocate, right? Because I think that's how we learn together as humans. So I think basically is the thing I'm trying to talk about is a kind of human first AI design, right? So something that's more focused on how do we help to empower human, right? So they can become better version of themselves instead of saying like, hey, we're replacing human, right? Because I really don't believe that's the way how tools or technology evolves, right? So for example, like one of the example I like to talk about is one of my experience back at Kaganoa. It's a healthcare company. We built one of the first AI software that help doctor determine if children have autism or ADHD. Right, so that product got FDA approval, and how we did it was more like we get all the knowledge base from a specialist doctor, and then we kind of use that to train a model that can allow a regular pediatrician to fill out some survey, and then the algorithm will help to determine if there's a high risk or low risk. Right, so the wait time of the parents with like concerns can be shortened from a year to 2 weeks, right? So in a way that for that product to work, is really create a value to empower the doctors who are unable to do certain diagnosis, right? So almost in a way that I really believe that should be the way that products like AI products work. So it's like enhancing the human, right? Kind of like you wear a
Yes.
harness that can protect you and keep you safe. And
Yeah.
in this regard, is like productivity tools should help the person become more productive, and not the other way around, right?
Yeah.
So I think that mentality is something I believe in the long term. And as for the advice to companies and job seekers, I really feel like there's so much noise in the market now. There's always like hundreds of product AI, everybody call AI product like coming out. So just have to be like both curious, but at the same time create your own perspective in what works for you, right? Because I don't think there is like a nobody can say, hey, this is the right way. Like you have to do it with X, Y, Z, right? Even when like those Google Sheets came out first, like a lot of people pick Excel versus Google Sheet, right? And it's really depending on the use case of
Yeah.
what's most practical, what's cost efficient, and what fit the workflow and what will achieve the greatest result, right? So I think just be curious and try more product. And then if you want to talk about different type of tools for personal productivity versus professional productivity, I'm also really happy to connect and chat about those things.
Amazing. Cool. Well, thank you, Kevin. Thanks for joining today. I think we've covered a tons and your sharing is like super insightful. Like I also learned a lot from you. So thanks again for joining us. Hope
Yeah,
to see
thank you so
you.
much. Yeah, let's keep in touch. Yeah.
Keep in touch. Hope to see you next time.